In the United States today, the average person saves less than 4 cents out of every dollar they earn. Not 40 cents, 4. And more than 1 in 3 people say they're living paycheck to paycheck with nothing left over at the end of the month. If that sounds a little too familiar, I want you to take a breath because you are in exactly the right place. By the end of this video, you'll understand one of the simplest, most powerful budgeting methods ever created. It takes 30 seconds to learn, it works whether you earn a little or a lot, and it could quietly change your entire financial future. It's called the 50-30-20 rule. Let's break it down together. Welcome back to MoneyWise Academy, the channel where we turn confusing money topics into simple, practical knowledge you can actually use. I'm really glad you're here. Today's lesson is built for complete beginners. You don't need any background in finance. You don't need a fancy calculator. You just need an open mind for the next few minutes. By the time we're done, you'll know exactly what the 50-30-20 rule is, where it came from, how to set it up with your own income, step by step, and the common mistakes that trip people up. And most importantly, you'll walk away with a plan you can start using on your very next payday. Sound good? Let's get into it. Before we talk about the rule, let's make sure we agree on one word: budget. A lot of people hear budget and they picture restriction, spreadsheets, saying no to everything fun. But that's not what a budget is at all. A budget is simply a plan for your money. That's it. It's you deciding in advance where your money should go, instead of getting to the end of the month and wondering where it all went. Think of it like a map for a road trip. Without a map, you might still arrive somewhere, but you'll probably waste time, take wrong turns, and burn through your gas along the way. A budget is that map for your money, and the 50-30-20 rule is one of the easiest maps ever drawn. Now here's the one idea that makes this whole method work, so stay with me. The rule is based on your after-tax income. Let me explain what that means because it matters. Your after-tax income, sometimes called your take-home pay, is the money that actually lands in your bank account after taxes and deductions are taken out. It is not the big number on your job offer. It's the number you can really spend. So if your paycheck drops $3,000 into your account each month, that $3,000 is the number we're going to work with. Got it? Good. Now let's meet the rule itself. The 50-30-20 rule wasn't dreamed up by some anonymous bank. It was popularized by a Harvard bankruptcy expert named Elizabeth Warren, along with her daughter, Amelia Warren Tyagi. They wrote about it in a book published back in 2005 called All You're Worth. Warren had spent years studying why ordinary families ended up in financial trouble, and she noticed something striking. The families who struggled most weren't always the ones who earned the least. Very often, they were the ones who had no plan, no system for dividing up their money. So she created a system so simple that anyone could follow it. 2 decades later, it's still one of the most recommended budgeting frameworks in the world. And the reason is beautiful. It only has 3 buckets. Let's look at each one. The first and biggest slice is 50% of your take-home pay, and it goes to your needs. So what counts as a need? A need is something you genuinely cannot live without, or a bill that would cause serious problems if you didn't pay it. These are your must-haves: your rent or mortgage, your electricity and water, basic groceries, transportation to get to work, insurance, and the minimum payments on any debt you owe. In other words, the roof over your head and the things that keep your life running. Here's where people get tricked, so listen closely. A need is not the same thing as a nicer version of a need. Food is a need, but dining out 5 nights a week is not. That's a want wearing a costume. A phone might be a need today, but the newest $1,000 model is not. When you're sorting your needs, ask yourself one honest question. If money suddenly got really tight, would I still have to pay this just to survive and keep my job? If the answer is yes, it's a need. So, 50% for the essentials. Simple. The second bucket is 30% of your take-home pay, and this one is actually fun. This is for your wants. Wants are all the things that make life enjoyable, but that you could technically live without. Eating out, your streaming subscriptions, hobbies, that weekend trip, new clothes you don't strictly need, the upgraded coffee instead of the regular one. A lot of beginners are surprised that a budget actually gives them permission to spend on fun. But that's the genius of this rule. It's realistic. A budget that bans all enjoyment is a budget you'll quit within a week, the same way a diet that bans all food is doomed from day one. By giving your wants a defined home, 30%, you get to enjoy your money without guilt, while still staying fully in control. The only catch is the limit. Once your wants hit 30%, that's the line. And here's the bucket that quietly builds your future. The final 20% goes to savings and paying off debt. This is the part most people skip, and it's exactly why so many feel stuck. This 20% does three big jobs. First, it builds your emergency fund, which is just a stash of cash set aside for life's surprises, like a car repair or a sudden medical bill. Remember that statistic from the start? Nearly half of people can't cover an unexpected $400 expense. An emergency fund is how you make sure you are never one of them. Second, this money attacks your debt, beyond just the minimum payments. And here's a pro tip straight from Elizabeth Warren herself. If you have high-interest debt, like credit card debt charging you 20% or more, knock that out first. Think about it this way. Paying off a debt that charges you 25% interest is like earning a guaranteed 25% return on your money. You almost never find a deal that good anywhere else. Third, once your emergency fund is solid and your toxic debt is gone, this bucket turns toward building real wealth, retirement accounts and investments that grow over the years. And let me give you one practical tip for this bucket. Don't let your savings just sit in a regular account earning nothing. As of 2026, the best high-yield savings accounts are paying around 4 to 5% a year, while the average ordinary account pays less than half of 1%. Same money, same safety, but one of them quietly pays you while it waits. Make your 20% work for you. All right, let's make this real with actual numbers, because this is where it truly clicks. Let's say you bring home $3,000 a month after tax. Watch how easy this becomes. 50% for needs. That's $1,500 for your rent, utilities, groceries, and transport. 30% for wants. That's $900 for dining out, fun, and your subscriptions. And 20% for savings and debt. That's $600 going straight toward your emergency fund, crushing debt, and building your future. Now add it up. $1,500 plus $900 plus $600. That's your full $3,000, with every single dollar given a job to do. No mystery, no guessing where it went. And don't worry, the math scales to any income. Let's say you take home $5,000 a month instead. 50% for needs is $2,500. 30% for wants is $1,500. And 20% for savings is $1,000. The percentages never change, only the dollar amounts. That's the beauty of it. Whether you earn a modest paycheck or a large one, the same three buckets keep you balanced. Now, I want to be honest with you, because that matters more than hype. This rule is a starting point, not a straitjacket. If you live in an expensive city, your needs might eat up more than 50%, and that is okay. The numbers can flex. Some people use a 60-30-10 split when times are tight. The exact percentages matter less than the habit of giving every dollar a purpose. And here's some real-world context for why this matters right now. In 2026, prices are still climbing. Inflation in the United States is running close to 4%, which means your needs naturally cost more than they did just a couple of years ago. That is exactly why having a system is more important than ever. When money is tight, a plan isn't a luxury, it's your lifeline. Okay, so the rule makes sense, but how do you actually put it into action without it feeling like homework? Let me walk you through it, nice and slow. Step 1. Find your real take-home pay. Pull up your last pay slip or your banking app and look at the amount that actually arrived after taxes. That's your starting number. Step 2. Do the simple math. Multiply that number by 0.5 for needs, by 0.3 for wants, and by 0.2 for savings. Or honestly, just split it in your head. Half for needs, a little under a third for wants, a fifth for the future. You don't need to be precise to the penny. Close enough is what works. Step 3. Give the money somewhere to live. This is the part beginners miss. A budget on paper does nothing if all your money sits in one account, blending together. So separate it. Many people open a second savings account just for that 20%, so the moment they get paid, that slice moves out of sight and out of temptation. Some banks even let you split your paycheck automatically. If you prefer something physical, you can use the old envelope method, literally putting cash for each category into labeled envelopes. The tool doesn't matter. The separation does. And here's the single most powerful trick in all of personal finance. Pay yourself first. Most people spend first and try to save whatever is left, and surprise, there's never anything left. Flip it. The moment money comes in, send that 20% to savings before you spend on anything else. Treat your future like a bill you have to pay. Do that, and savings stops being something you hope for and becomes something that just happens. Before we wrap up, let me save you from a few traps I see beginners fall into. The first mistake is mislabeling wants as needs. Be honest with yourself in that needs bucket, or the whole system quietly breaks. The second mistake is giving up after one bad month. You will overspend sometimes. Everyone does. The goal isn't perfection, it's direction. If you slip in one category, just adjust and keep going. A budget you return to beats a perfect budget you abandon. And the third mistake is waiting until you earn more to start. Don't. The habit you build today on a small income is the exact same habit that will protect a large one later. Start now with whatever you have. So let's lock in what you learned today. 1. A budget is simply a plan for your money, a map so that you decide where it goes. 2. The 50-30-20 rule splits your take-home pay into 3 buckets: 50% for needs, the things you can't live without, 30% for wants, the things you enjoy, and 20% for savings and paying down debt, the part that builds your future. 3. Start by attacking high-interest debt and building an emergency fund, and keep your savings somewhere that actually earns interest. And 4. The rule is flexible. Adjust the numbers to fit your real life, but never skip the habit. So here's my challenge for you. Before you spend another dollar this week, figure out your take-home pay and split it into those 3 buckets, just once, on paper or in your phone. That single act puts you ahead of most people who never plan at all. You don't need to be rich to be smart with money. You just need a system, and now you have one. If this lesson helped you, do me a quick favor and tap that like button, because it genuinely helps the channel reach more people who need it. Subscribe to MoneyWise Academy so you never miss a lesson, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, stay wise with your money.